Hello, Kimberly McAlinden here for Knit 123. Here's the video tutorial for the beginner scarf for issue number 5. We're talking about creating open work in the article with using yarn overs and drop stitch techniques. The first beginner scarf, upon quick inspection, just looks like a stocking net scarf. But what you can see is a little bit of texture. And when I open it up a little wider, you can kind of see some texture here. And the way that that's created is in a pattern, you are knitting into the back of the stitch, creating a twisted stitch. And you're creating these little columns of a twisted stitch, a plain stitch, and another twisted stitch. And what's going to happen is when you're finished at the end of knitting this whole scarf, you're going to then intentionally drop this stitch. Now, I know you're worried about it, but it is okay. It's going to be so liberating for you to actually drop a stitch on purpose. It will show you a couple things. The first thing it'll show you is that when you drop a stitch, it kind of takes a little bit of maneuvering with your hands for it to go all the way down to the bottom of the scarf. Now this is the actual scarf that will be in the magazine in the issue. So it is very long. You can't see it because it's out of the camera, but it's very long already. It's 60 inches because I wanted to show you how to drop it. So what the first row that I'm going to show you is a couple tricks on how to keep the pattern. So the way that the pattern is done is you're going to knit the first 3 stitches. So let's get going. I'm going to do this pretty quickly. So you knit the first 3 stitches. And now here comes the pattern work. The pattern work is knit into the back of a stitch. That's the twisted stitch. Knit 1 stitch the regular way. You're going to knit into the back of the next stitch. And then you're going to knit 2 stitches plain. So the way in order, you can absolutely use stitch markers. If you want to use a stitch marker before a twisted stitch, that's fine. But you can also think of it this way. Think of it as you knit 3 stitches and then you have 5 stitches with which to work. So the first stitch is going to be twisted, second plain, third twisted, and fourth and fifth plain. So when I was doing this for all 60 inches, I would get to where the twisted stitch was going to be. So it would be 1 twisted, 2 plain, 3 twisted, 4 and 5 plain. 1 twisted, 2 plain, 3 twisted, 4 and 5 plain. And I would continue to do that all the way across so that I didn't need to have a bunch of stitch markers. Now at the end you're going to see here's 1 twisted, 2 plain, 3 twisted, and then of course we have 3 stitches, but that's just the way it is. So then we just knit these 3 stitches plain. Now on the back row, very simple. You can watch television while you're doing the second row. You're going to knit that first stitch and then you're going to purl across the row. So now when we get back to the right side row, it's going to be time to drop the stitches. It's very exciting. It's so exciting to drop stitches when you intentionally mean to. Now don't worry, when you go all the way down to the end, it's not going to fall off because of the way that you cast it on. Even if it does, it's not really going to go anywhere. While I'm going across this row, I want everybody to please block this. It's so much prettier after you block it, and hopefully that'll be another technique article later on, blocking these fibers here. So we purled all the way across and we're going to knit the last stitch. All right, so here we go. The stitch in between the two twisted stitches, that's kind of hard to say, is the one that we're going to drop. So we're going to knit 3 stitches. I'm a little excited myself. Knit 3 stitches, twist 1 stitch. Then we're going to take our center stitch, this stitch, and look, we're just going to take it right off. Take it off and pull. And look. Now, one of the reasons for the twisted stitch is so that these stitches on either side, they stay. They look nice. Don't they look lovely? Now, you can let this go, and for time's sake, see how you have to kind of manipulate it. It's not going to go very far. What I want to show you, though, right now is how to continue on with the pattern. So we're going to take this bar, this one bar right here, and we're going to put that back onto our left-hand needle, and we're going to knit into the back of it. And then we're going to go, now we're in a twisted stitch, and then we're going to knit 2 stitches. And so when you see the scarf in the magazine, you'll see how pretty these columns are, and that's creating the open work. So what's going to happen is there'll be a bunch of these, and there'll be solids, and then this pretty ladder work, and then a solid and a ladder work. So have fun making this scarf and intentionally dropping your stitches.